Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 457 of Tenno Clock, and I'm just going to start this out by showing you an amazing emblem that's going to be my choice in the future while I rub it in Xeno's face. Look at this beautiful boy, this beautiful emblem. That's really cool. I love that emblem. It's cool. It's going to come to 10 o'clock soon to you. Right, however, we're not going to start that with that emblem because there's other emblems to come. I am MDRLOz. Hello, and this is Xeno.
With audio now.
With audio this time, because we didn't start recording for about 5 minutes without realising that Xeno's audio wasn't there, and it was all pointless, and we just been.
I mean, at least it was 5 minutes. At least it was 5 minutes and not like an hour and a half.
Oh, that would have been terrible. Right, but let's continue on with this episode. Now with 100% more Xeno. Who's sort of in the darkness this week, as you can see.
So I'm at my folks. Should we put the emblems up and then go into Dojo Dusting?
No,
actually?
I was going to make a joke about how you're actually trapped in a cell, but okay, we'll put the emblems up. There we go.
So here's the emblems. We kind of, unfortunately, we had a whole bit, and now that bit's gone, so never to be seen or heard. Effectively, mine was Donut playing games. And yours was...
Clam clam. Clam.
Calm clan. It's a calm clan. So calm. Why are you not calm? Too excited. You're no good here. We don't want you. Anyway, yep. And these are the emblems. But if you want a chance to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice, giving Loz an opportunity to hit his special meme of winning platinum.
Another one, but yeah. Oh no, there's emblems in the way.
If you want to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice, go into the description below where you'll find this week's polls. Just simply fill it in, select which emblem you like. You'll automatically be entered in. You could just do the emblems and not bother filling in the rest of the polls. I don't know why you would do that, you monster. Make sure your in-game name is correct, because if you spell it wrong and DE can't find you, then no one wins for that platform, which there is someone in there that's like just putting like a load of commas and then hi. And I know that lame just isn't gonna be on any of the consoles, but one day that player's gonna win, and I'm gonna submit it to DE, and then DE's like, that player doesn't exist. I was like, yeah, I thought as much. Anyway,
he'll do it.
I will do it. Right. So that's shoot, what was I saying? Make sure you get it incorrect, and in 2 weeks' time, you'll have a chance to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice. Right. Trying to think, like Dojo Dusting. Right. So you might notice that there's a difference. I've got a blue snowball in front of me.
White.
Why?
It's white.
It is white. What's wrong with it being white?
Not blue.
Yeah, but it's branded blue.
But it's white.
I mean, I could turn it around, make hell of a din, completely deafen everyone, and you can read the actual thing that says blue on it. It's upside down.
I got one right here.
I know you do.
Thing. I still say it's white.
Anyway, so I'm currently visiting my folks, and the lighting's off because it's daytime. We're actually recording this during the day for once, and the light's completely uneven, and I mean, at least you get to see my face.
Okay.
Well, that's the story you wanted. I told it.
I didn't want any story. I just like.
Yeah, you did. You're like
trapped in a prison cell.
Next week,
and that I've conditioned you through Stockholm syndrome to believe that you're at your parents, when actually, in fact, you're trapped in a small box. As I force you to record endless podcasts.
Next week will be the last time I'm recording from my old place, and then I'll be back to. Sorry, I'll be able to take the reins. After Loz has done an amazing job for, I don't know how many years now you've been doing this.
Oh,
what, 3 years?
No, it's not that. It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic wasn't 3 years.
2020.
Like 22 years. It's fine, whatever. But anyway, you can actually improve things. That's the important stuff. You can actually start.
We can get
stuff.
a proper news intro and all sorts of shenanigans. So one of the things that we're talking about changing is we go back to the background footage, but I'll actually have the game open in the background, then I can just flip between them.
Yeah, because we do realise there is useful going like, we don't know how much ability strength this costs. Let's go look in game.
Yeah.
But I think Xeno likes the ability of... Well, I don't mind playing while talking, because I can just do two things, but Xeno can't. So, yeah.
I can't.
I can help Clem while talking about Warframe, because Warframe's so amazing.
I thought you were going to do the quest.
I was, but I want to level up my Stein Axe. And I'm like, what else have I got to do? And I'm like, oh,
Stankin' Axe.
Yep. Stein Axe.
Stankin' Axe.
Stank face.
Anyway, so that is it for the Dojo Dusting. It is time to do the War Report. Yep, so we've had the new update. We've had Veilbreaker, which has come out. You've not had much of an opportunity to play it. I have.
I'm playing Veilbreaker right now.
You are playing Veilbreaker right now. There are some...
Well, important thing to note, before, I think it's the 20-something of September. So if you're just, some people do just listen to our podcast and aren't really playing Warframe while they're waiting for big updates. I do suggest everyone goes and gets Warframe updated on whatever console platform you're on and log in to get your free Stein Axe. It's completely free, just log in and you'll have this new Warframe, which is great. Because it's the 50th Warframe, so D is being really nice and giving it to everyone as a small window where you can get it for free. Do make sure you log in. I'm going to quickly check what it is. I think it was it's the 20-something that you have to log in by. That's nice. Well done.
So I was just getting an emblem.
I'm definitely want to get the date right. September the 27th. Sorry, it's 22nd. 12 o'clock basically ET is when it ends. So September 22nd. So you got a couple of weeks there. So definitely, even if you're just listening about Warframe, because we love to chat about Warframe, we love that people are listening to us chat about Warframe. But make sure you do log in to get your free Stein Axe, because it's just free real estate, man. Just pick it up.
Yeah, because I think the alternative way of doing it is through the car missions.
Yes. Bless your face. Bless your face.
Which aren't actually in yet.
Are they not?
No, they're not in yet. They messaged last minute sort of thing saying like we've still got problems with the car missions, so everything else is coming in. The car missions will come in hopefully next week. So,
right. So definitely don't miss out on your free Stein Axe.
Stanky
King. Yes, Stank King. Wow.
Yeah. So we've had the update. I've done the quest. The quest was actually quite interesting. I kind of hope that we get more like that. It was pretty much just one mission, but it was a fairly long mission. It was an introduction on how to use and play as Carl. So that was great. And you'll get to experience that while playing this, though. You're not going to be able to hear anything. What else is that? We've got the inclusion of the Archon sorties, which both Nazeth and I worked together to do this week's one. I have thoughts and opinions on them. I don't know if you want me to share them now or later. Okay. So they are harder. They are a lot harder. We failed the first one like two times before we're like, okay, so we can't just bring our like sloppy game here. We actually have to bring our A game here. I couldn't just bring Oberon. I brought Limbo to actually lock everything in place. There was an enemy. We couldn't work out which enemy it was that was just 100% killing us. Just like they were breaking our shield and just one-shotting us. We had no idea what the hell enemy it was. If anyone in the listening to this...
So how many... Sorry, can you explain this a bit better? So there is how many missions in the sortie?
3.
And out of the 3 missions, which is the mission you're saying this enemy turned up in?
I only noticed dying instantly in the first mission only.
So it was something in the first mission, and what was the objective of the mission, or what type of mission was it?
It was a mobile defense.
Mobile defense against... Narma.
Narma, yeah.
So there's a
I don't know if the Narma missions in the Narma bounties, whether or not they have sentience with them, but this Narma sortie has sentience with them.
Well, it's important that D remembers they exist.
Yeah, so it was quite a lot of sentience. So I don't know if it was a sentient that was killing us or a Narma enemy that was killing us, but something was certainly killing us. You got your first ability.
Second ability. It's Thanos
okay.
Strike. Well, it's Thanos Strike, but Thanos Strike sounds more fun.
Thanos.
Yep.
It's Thanos clap. Just claps you around the head with the shield. Thanos. Anyway, so yeah, we died a few times, which is good. It took us the majority of the evening to do. After we did it's still treading really old, worn ground with the sorties. We had to do a 10-wave defense, at which point in time, we were like, oh, we're getting tired of this. We tried to do the Archon once.
Yep.
We saw how much of a bullet sponge it was. I inevitably died, and we were just like, you know what? Let's just put this down, right? And we came back to it the next day. So there was an advantage of being able to do that, but still, it was. I didn't want a bullet sponge boss.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So we found that Rubicos were like the way forward to do more damage, but still, very bullet spongy boss.
So after seeing the content, it's a sortie with the boss at the end, which I don't know how much you feel it has been adapted. And it's 3 missions. You do a mission, you do a mission, you do a mission. Do a mission, do a mission, do a mission. Yep. And then you've got Nama, which is already been pre-done since Christmas. What I'm saying is, does this really feel like a lot of development time? And, I just want a fair assessment. Do you really feel it should have taken a long time for this to come out?
Since April, or end of April, when Angels of Zeraman came out.
Yeah. I mean, this didn't come out. So April's when the Angels of Zeraman came out. Then there was TennoCon. It's now mid-September, almost, And this has finally come out. Let's be fair, it came out early September.
I kind of want to believe that they spent between Angels of the Zeraman and TennoCon just preparing for TennoCon. Like, this wasn't even in the woodwork. Like, I just like, oh yeah, we haven't got the plank of wood in yet. We haven't even started, because we saw a trailer for this and that was about it. And I think that trailer was like pre-scripted and stuff like that. So I don't think, or using old animations from other stuff. So
you think that since April they've been working heavily only on Deviri, and then they just decided
TennoCon.
Well, which is Deviri.
Yeah, but I think that was just a heavily scripted event.
Yes, but I can't believe you're trying to imply that the entirety of DE for several months decided to work entirely on a pre-scripted cutscene to be done, and that was it. They didn't do any actually work on the game. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, look at the pre-scripted event for Railjack. It's completely different from what we ended up getting in the end.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
so if they had all of that beforehand, like, well, why did they chop out bits? And like, it's because they didn't have any of that.
If it was actually, I see. I want to just kind of be like, no, they've clearly been working on Deviri, and then they put that together. But whereas you're like, did they? As you make the very good example of like, oh, but what about this really cool thing where you see your ship come down in Venus to pick you up as you fight something in orbit, and then somebody has to destroy the shields elsewhere, kind of thing. All that other kind of cool stuff. Yeah, I think I'm combining two there, but yeah.
No, that was the same one.
Was it? No.
Yeah.
No, because it was on Earth.
Oh no! You're right.
I'm combining two. I think you are combining two.
It's like the two separate years.
Don't want to be yeah. But you make your point that both of those were like not what we got for Railjack, and it's like, well, if those were actually the proper thing done in game and what was worked on, and not just prescripted stuff, then why didn't we get it? I guess.
Yeah. So
it wasn't working.
So I think between Angels of the Zeraman and so May and June. All of May and all of June, they were working heavily on making sure that the pre-scripted stuff for Deviri was done, and for what's the name of the damn thing? They were working on the preview for Veilbreaker. Maybe they started Veilbreaker, but I don't think they had gotten particularly far because there was no there was no scripted event for it or anything. Heck, when we did what's the name of the damn thing? The press pre-show, we were. It wasn't explicitly stated, but it was heavily implied that Veilbreaker was coming out after Deviri.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
then it got changed, and it was like...
Yeah, so I think it was like, no. I wouldn't be surprised if after the press event, it's like, no, isn't it the other way around? It's like, oh, crap, yeah, it is. What was the next thing I was going to say? Veilbreaker. Yeah, so I think from TennoCon to now, they've been working on Veilbreaker. So we're talking August, September. So we're talking a month and a half to produce this, right? I could easily believe that they spent a month and a half to produce this.
Okay, yeah, it's the same thing like with when we did the Call the Tempestari quest. The first one was like, oh god, why, blah, blah. But then after it came out, they said basically they did that entire thing in another 3 months, and I'm like, what, that actually does feel quite reasonable. That was 3 months worth of work and 3 months of setup and plan. I'm like, it really mellowed me on that quest because I thought, no, that'd be great. In fact, though, it made me think, can you just make 4 of these a year? That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. So, but obviously we still are missing a chunk of it because we're supposed to be having the Carl missions. We haven't had those yet.
Yes.
I'm not entirely sure. Feel free to correct me, either internet or DE, because I'm sure we'll release this and the Carl quests are out. Like, oh, of course. Sorry, the Carl missions. I believe they're supposed to be weekly as well.
I thought weekly was
But considering Stanky Boy is supposed to be, I think he is part of the reward table for doing them. They can't possibly be weekly. Yeah, they have to be daily. Yeah, you really think? Yeah. Well, do you think you get the whole Stanky Boy?
Yeah, it's a free Warframe. What if it takes you? I think it's not quite that you just you get random drops. I think it's like there's like a reward table thing for it. I can't remember. There was some wording that made me feel that was how it was going to be done. And if that was the case, and you get 1 token per week, then you guarantee him in 4 weeks. That seems fine.
Oh, okay.
If you guarantee to get him, that's not a hard thing. But obviously you're not getting anything else on their reward table, because I think that's also the thing that's going to give you like cosmetics for Carl and things, and you get to choose what you want. So if that's the case, and you can just go, no, I want to save up for Synax, get him in 4 weeks. 4 weeks is perfectly fine. There's plenty of content. You don't have to be able to go, I want to acquire Stynex for free in 4 days. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I remember the way they did Valkyr when the Alad V quest came out, and they replaced the Jupiter tile set with the... What?
No, Mesa. Sorry. You keep telling your story. I might be mixing this up.
When they released Valkyr, obviously you could buy the frame right away for Platinum, but they delayed the free acquisition of Valkyr because you had to be Alad V, and they also released the tile set. So we had the Hunt for Alad V event where we had to do each node of the Jupiter tile set to clear off the infested spaceships, because that's what Jupiter was originally. And then as we finished each node, it got replaced with doing the old Jupiter tile set, and then we had to clear through the entire map to reach the middle, which was where Alad V was. And it took about a week for the entire community to do it. So it was a good way of them getting Valkyr by a week. I mean, that was a week, so fair enough. But then doing this by a month, I think that's fine.
Oh, Shazbot, can we roll back to the Dojo Dusting for 2 seconds?
We're still on Dojo Dusting. Oh, no, we're report. Okay.
No, we're report.
You want to push Dojo Dusting again?
I want you to hit Dojo Dusting again.
Okay.
So I forgot. So I just flicked back to the notes because I was busy looking for emblems. I got distracted. That we've actually got Plat Winners.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, Plat Winners. So for PC, we have King of Nightmare. PlayStation, we have Sir Lockalot 94. Xbox, we have TD Stranger 101. And Twitch, we have Thulurk. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, so all in all, I'm okay with
back to the war report.
Yeah, back to the war report.
I'm
okay with the oh gosh, what's it called? I'm okay with the update as is. The only issue I have is the fact that the Archon hunts seem to be like, very tank and spank.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if they're designed, if they're like, oh yeah, no, all the enemies you fight are like for 4 people to fight, not for 1 person to fight, or vice versa. But the actual Archon itself, it was a tanky SOB. And one of the big things that really got to me was the fact that you did the new war recently. You did a playthrough of it recently. Do you remember the owl boss particularly well?
No, that was the one I was picked for the 3rd one, and thus I would just destroy it.
Okay, so the one that we had this week was the owl boss, and it has this phase where it summons the sentience that you have, so it becomes invulnerable and immobile. You have to destroy these sentience in order to actually kill it, but the sentients are also invulnerable, and they have these little orbs above their heads. You have to destroy those to make them vulnerable. Then you have to kill the sentients, which are the ones with the utility belts. They have to destroy the belt first, and then you can destroy the sentient. And then once you've destroyed all of them, you can then engage with the Archon again. And I don't remember that being in the original thing, and it's really interesting. But a large part of the problem I have with it was just so bullet spongy. That's the biggest problem I have with it. It's just insanely bullet spongy.
Fair.
Right. I think that's all I wanted to say for... the other point is the Archon stuff. My maths wasn't too far off. It turns out that there is a 20% chance to get a Tau shard, and it is 15 weeks to get a full set of 5 of 1 color. So in a year, you'll be able to do 9 Warframes.
Say again?
In a year,
yeah,
you'll have 9 full sets. So 3 of each color.
3 of each. Oh, is it because it rotates then, does it?
Yes.
But Tau shards are a chance?
Yes, they're 20% chance.
Right.
So there are some... No, they're non-tradable. So there is a good chance. So this is why I think they need a system in there, which is like, okay, so we can crush these 5 blue shards into
a Tau shard,
into a Tau shard.
Yeah, a safety net on that would be appreciated, seeing as it's like well, maybe they'll be in the Carl system so that you can save up for them.
Potentially, yeah. Right. Okay. Should we move on to the topics?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So, topic 1.
Yep.
Archons are typical DE boss fight.
Hey.
Topic 2 is Sentinel rework. And topic 3, the Azima has been gutted. Right. Okay. So, I didn't realize that the Archon... I didn't think that was our first topic. Okay, so Archons are typical DE boss design.
Oh, before we start, actually, I do remember one thing is that you said you wanted these new sorties to last at least like longer. Did you, just as a quick thing, did you feel that was fine, or do you feel that with using the correct frames and weapons, it's really just like, because I've got people, I think both Trex Paddock and Thomas Cooperstein said that they took only about 30 minutes to do them.
Yeah, I think if you've got the right gear, you can blitz through them.
Are you disappointed?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, on to the topic.
So, right. So, do you want to hit the topic?
Yeah.
Layer?
There we go. Yay!
Right, okay, cool. So, Archons are a typical DE boss design. They're immune to abilities full stop. They're immune to armor stripping, tested shattering impact, avalanche, and psychic bolts. They are have boatloads of HP and what look like lich damage reduction. I don't exactly know what that means. no more than 4 procs of each type. Oh, so status procs. It caps at 4 each. Right, okay. They have invulnerability phases. Bonus, the enemies they spawn during the invulnerability phase, they're invulnerable until you pop their tiny weak spots. And those enemies move around a lot. And if you're not quick enough, they regenerate the weak spots and they're invulnerable again. Basically, they combine the worst features of liches and Let Krill. So, just to point out, this person is basing it all off of one lich we have fought, because we've only had access to one.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Archon.
This... Apologies, yes, Archon. So, this is not particularly wrong. So one of the things that Nazeth and I wanted to do, and we noticed the armor stripping immunity. So because I was playing Oberon on our first attempt, I put down Hallowed Ground and I tried to Reckoning it. It doesn't engage with it at all. So the Archons are just immune to that. One thing I did want to try was auras. So if we took corrosive projection, would that work? Yeah. But we didn't get that far. So the Archons also have a weak spot. Their actual Archon shard. If you shoot that, they take, I want to say, triple damage, maybe even greater. Because before, so basically, I took my Spore Lacer and I was doing F all damage because Spore Lacer can't crit.
Yeah.
Or it can't do headshot damage or weak spot damage, and I think that's what the shard counts as. It's like a headshot. So the what was I saying? Archon shard. So I ended up taking a Rubico Prime, and if I shot it normally, I was doing like 1 to 2k damage, right? Maybe more, but if I was shooting the shard, I was doing like 50 to 70k damage. So you need something that's precision in order to hit the shard. Be it you have to use something like an assault rifle or something like that. But one thing that was pointed out, people theorize that the Archon's damage reduction functions the same as Mutalist Alad V. That once you hit it for 1 packet of damage, he's then invulnerable for a moment, so he's not receiving any more packets of damage. And he's got like massive damage reduction, and then he receives 1 packet. So that's why you need like a sniper rifle for Mutalist Alad V. Because he takes 1 packet of damage, but he takes like a shit ton of damage because it's a slower fire rate. So I do feel that this person has a point. The bosses, the Archons have 2 phases.
Yep.
So when you get it into second phase, it runs away. You have to fight these deacons. This is how we lost the first Archon fight Nazeth and I did. We decided, it's like vaults. We'll go do these vaults. Because it was like an A and a B. Didn't realize that, no, these are enemies. We have to kill these enemies. I died. And because I was nowhere near Nazeth, he couldn't revive me. And so I just flat out died. So, always stick together. And yeah, I think that it needs tweaking. And this is something I'd like to see, is that these numbers get tweaked quite frequently to balance it. I don't want it to be like, next week we'll adjust all of these numbers. And like, no, I just want you to do it like a lot more frequently. A part of me feels that some like PC, like we've had this before, like PC should be the experimental platform. But realistically, the numbers.
Wouldn't it be great if they went back to... Okay, so there's... I know what you're trying to say here. Let me try to expand this for you, maybe, Lucky. So, it used to be great when PC was the test bed, because the amount of people... When they put out a patch for PC, in 1 day of testing, they can get, like, more... I think there was a quote at some point. They can get more testing done than they could get done a year internally, basically on a piece of content. So I don't get why we can't go back to the days of PC get something first for, let's say, a week or two, and then it allows to go to for the consoles. I think the fact that they're trying to always, unless, well, maybe I can understand if we are, maybe they haven't announced that maybe it was one of the reasons of a step towards cross play, because then it wouldn't work, because PC would be a week where it'd be out of sync each time, and then it would come back into sync. But at the same time, maybe they should use that, because it allows them to do a good test bed of things.
So I think that they... Correct me if I'm wrong, World of Warcraft had public test realms.
Yeah. Always does, even beta test realms before any new content comes out. You know.
So, but the beta test realms, I thought was invite only.
That's very
Oh, okay, that's changed. Okay, fine.
Well, it's invite only, but they invite loads of people for them, and it's like before as it gets closer, they just invite more people each week.
Right. So with, oh gosh, what was I going to say? So I think what DE could do is have public test realms, right? They need to give some form of... I think they need to be able to provide some incentive for the public test realms, but the public test realms are not necessarily for feedback. They're for data collection, right? They are there to see, like, oh, if we tweak this number, and like we are talking like one number at a time on this Archon fight, let's see how the players engage with it better, right? Okay, so the average fight time lasted this long, but people with this weapon were able to do it better. Do you get my point?
Yes.
So they're able to see
what you're saying is, I remember when the public test forums did go live, and everyone just decided to give their feedback on what needs to be added to the game, not, hey, you've done this piece of content, is this too hard, too easy? This is, you know, that's what they actually want.
Yeah. So I think if they're able to get statistical data, but at the same time, you have to realize that whatever you do in the public test realms, the PTR equivalent of Warframe, World of Warcraft, none of it carries over, right? I remember when we did the beta testing or the beta invite for Mr. Pandaria, and one of our friends complains, like, well, why don't I get to keep any of this stuff?
Yeah.
Because you're testing, right? Oh, no, I don't want to do this if I'm not keeping anything.
Good, don't do it.
Yeah,
that's the problem, is that people think it's the opportunity to play the game. It's because loads of companies and things have changed what the term beta means. It used to mean very strict, very important. This is just a stress test or a testing method, and you know, it's just for that, to make it as good as possible. Some people but then other places use it as a early release name, and it's just like no, and then so they've muddied the waters on the term, and so people don't understand a beta does not mean you get to carry over your gameplay content. But you're right.
I mean,
well, technically, I don't think Warframe's ever come out of beta.
Technically. But one of the big things about... oh, gosh. The beta testing is just a layer of quality assurance, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. Like, you just want to make sure that it's good. Like, alpha testing is... oh, we think this is the direction we're going to go in. Beta testing is we have the direction we're going in. We just need to make sure that the bugs are removed, right?
Yeah.
Number of companies that expect the developers to actually beta test stuff is mental. Like, it is such a huge mistake to do. And you shouldn't expect your developers to do this, because they're only going to test the one thing that they know the logic of how it's supposed to work, right? If you need proper testers to do stuff, like, oh, okay, so if I click on this button over here, and I then start like moving my mouse around in counterclockwise circles, and then I unplug my mouse, and oh look, I've now managed to get into the admin panel, Or if I go to this, for example, like if I go to this WordPress website, and then instead of actually putting in the login details, if I just click the WordPress icon 100 times, it just logs me in as the super admin, right?
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff is what needs to be discovered, and that's what quality assurance is all about. But there are too many players out there that don't realize this. So I think if we're able to reward players to just play it with not keeping any of the stuff that they gain from it, like, hey, here's a cool shoulder mount that you get to keep while you're doing PTR, right? There you go. A shoulder.
Only what?
Piece of
Not
armor.
only in the PTR, not on the live one.
No, on the live one, right?
Yeah.
But you only get it if you're doing PTR.
I do. I see what you're trying to do, but at the same time, I do worry about the kind of thing because I remember how much anger and feedback there was over the Gift of the Lotus shoulder pads.
Guide to the Lotus.
Yes, Guide to the Lotus. Gift of the
Lotus. But yeah, again, it was like, you have to be active, so on and so forth, and the whole point, But it's like this is just play the game. But then people will be like, oh well, if you want me to play the game, I want to keep what I'm doing, and think you get the idea.
Yeah, but then the key thing to realize is that those people are not the kind of people you want on a test server.
Well, if you're just getting raw numbers, they are the people you want.
Yes,
you don't want the feedback. You don't want the feedback. You want the weird exploitative raw numbers. That's the important
but you
part.
don't listen to them because you're just looking for raw tests.
Yeah.
So you'd be like,
yeah. Oh, where's the feedback form? And I need a feedback on this. It's like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. You just have stats crunching.
Yeah. Or it's like, I've only got 500 characters to write my feedback in, but I need at least 5,000. You're just writing feedback.
I honestly just wouldn't give them a feedback form. Just don't.
Yeah, just
give
I
them.
Agree with that.
Give people a forum to just post all the stuff in and just don't read any of it.
Oof, big oof. Right. So that is my take on it. I think personally they need to. No, I think they should leave this as is. Bullet spongy bosses. They need to be able to tweak these in the right directions. Wait for like trials and things like that before they have more mechanics and stuff to engage with, because I think it's important to incentivize players to be able to do these archons quickly, and there's a huge stat increase. Like, we need to make sure that you get yours before the reset, which I think is Wednesday.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I'll get it done. Yeah,
but the actual, I think the defense one, the blue one, is one of the best ones because it's 150 armor, which means what? That times 5 is 7. Wait, hold on. Can I math this correctly? Probably not. Was it 750 armor? Yeah, 750 armor. So that's a huge amount of armor. Most Warframes don't have that at base.
No, that's true.
I don't actually think any of them do. So it's huge. I think the only two abilities the only two Archon crystals that are really going to get used are the blue and the red. So armor and power strength. But that's my jaded view on it. I mean, someone might turn and like, no. Just think about like using this combination of the yellow one. I'm like, oh shit, man, that's really cool. Yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah, anyway. I mean, I am somebody who likes just stacking health and shields, but I could be like, right, if you just dump on this one system into nothing but armor, like, okay, fine, I get what you're saying.
Well, it's so the big thing was that I think I did some maths because like there's one which is power strength, and like the armor that I get from the flat boost of the blue crystals is so much higher than if you were to take the power strength bonus and then do Iron Reckoning, right? So it's just like, why would I not take this flat increase, then turn on Iron Reckoning, and then just have even more? I did the maths. Unfortunately, it's all back up in Birmingham, but I did the maths, and I'm pretty sure I worked out like get 16,000 armor or something.
Wow.
Sorry, not 16,000. Sorry, 1,600 armor.
Okay.
Which is like, it's still a lot. I'll be tanky, mofo. Anyway. Right. I don't really have anything else to say to this. I do agree with pretty much everything that's said here.
Let's go to replies then.
I just don't think it's going to change. Yeah,
replies. First replies. I wish that we'd fight Archons with our drifters like in New War.
I see where they're coming from. The issue is everyone would bitch. It would be another Archwing incident.
Yeah, I think that style of play is what the Carl missions are supposed to bring. Because the great thing was that it was a very restricted place set that you had, or get, ability set that was limited, and so they could balance the fight off of it. That's why it was so challenging and so interesting. And they can't do that with Warframes. Have you brought your Necromech? Have you brought your Arc Gun? Have you brought your Arcanes? Have you brought what guns have you brought? How many Warframes have you brought? What Warframes have you brought? What abilities have you swapped around those Warframes? What operator have you brought? Which focus style have you brought for your operator? It's just too. Oh, which Arcanes has your operators thing got in it? It's just too much variety on it. They can't really create that. So yeah, I think you're right. Though I would like to see the Drifter play style. Maybe again Deviri will scratch that itch, bringing more of the limited thing for the Drifter play style coming in.
Well, again, like one thing that would be kind of cool is maybe you could do a Carl mission either as Carl or the Drifter, and you have different ways of doing the same mission.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't think you should be able to swap between them. It's like you do one or the other.
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Maybe it's a case of it's a set rotation sort of thing. So like 1 week it's 1 day it's Carl, 1 day it's your Drifter. Yeah. Anyway.
Do people really have a hard time fighting Let Krill? I always found him extremely predictable and easy to deal with.
The only issue with Let Krill I have is the waiting around for him to do his shit and getting him to swing. I don't know if they've changed it, but getting him to swing vertically as opposed to horizontally. Right? Yeah. I remember many, many years ago, and I had to fight Let Krill, and trying to get him to bloody swing vertically was a pain in the ass. But I remember fighting him recently, and it was just like, he's just doing it vertically. I'm wondering if they changed it or something, so he only does vertical swings now. But it's there's a finesse. You have to finesse it in order to actually get it right. You need to do this.
No, I'm sure one of the other puppies will do it for me.
Loz is like, I am paying no attention to none.
Next one. It's just that one. But yeah, come on, go puppies, go. Oh, I better defend the puppies. Next one is, I don't mind if the boss has a big health pool. It's a boss and supposed to be challenging. But if the mechanics are complete ass and you're unable to figure them out, at least 10 to 15 minutes into the fight is just plainly bad design. The error lists, for example, are just horribly designed. You want me to shoot them in their canisters on their torso. Great, but indicate that I'm supposed to do this in some way. Make them glow or something. But I guess even that wouldn't be that helpful since they're covered in some kind of cum aura or whatever the hell it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so this is the ad that appears
utility belt.
When... No, yeah, it's that, but it's the one that appears when the Archon goes into its immunity phase.
Yeah.
So it goes into its immunity phase, then these things appear. I don't remember them doing anything, but then they have this weak spot that's above their head. I remember telling Nazareth, is like, you got to shoot the glowing orb above its head. And it's like, what? There's no glowing orb above its head. Nazareth, look up. And like, no, I can't see one. Look up higher. Oh, that. It's not that high. This isn't, Dragon Ball Z, where fucking Goku's doing a bloody spirit bomb in orbit. Anyway. But, you see, this is the problem, though. Like, this person now knows that the that's that's how you deal with these ads, right? So once you know how to deal with the ad, is it a problem anymore?
No. Yeah, again, it's just learning. It's the same thing that happens, I know as an example, but in World of Warcraft, every time a new raid tier would come out, there'd be the Raid Finder, the easiest version of the raid for people to just kind of get free loot and experience it. But the first few weeks of any raid Finder coming out would always be tricky because the average person had no idea how to clear the fight. But once they once they'd done it like a few weeks and the average person knew what to do, stand here, don't stand in that, push the button when it goes green, then it became a lot easier. But at first, everyone's just like, oh,
you're going to fail.
Knows. Yeah,
you're going to fail at first, right? You know, I'm really sad that the first mission, which was the mobile defense one, was cheesed by Limbo. I took the Limbo because we kept failing it. You know, I'm like, we keep failing this. We keep on insta-dying. I'm bringing Limbo. You know, so yeah. Out of interest, have you built your Archon Shard segment yet?
No, how do I build that?
So you'll need parts, one of which is fish guts. So you should have had the recipe come in from... Oh, no, you have to do the quest first. I apologize.
Also. Right. Next one
Next
says... These guys use the same adaptive damage resistance formula garbage that the Orphics use. Outside of crit chance and crit damage, the more damage the game thinks your gun can deal, the more resistance to damage from it they are.
That would make sense. So if you have an OP weapon, the more powerful the weapon has the potential to be, the greater the throttle back is. Yes, I agree it is garbage because it should just be a flat cap. But at the same time, when you've got such a complex system like this in Warframe, how far's too far?
Fair.
Do you know what I mean?
What's this? Oh.
I don't know. Is it an animal?
Stupid animal. Right, sorry. You were saying?
Yeah, so like, you know, when you have a damage system that is as complicated as Warframe, I think systems like this make sense. You know, if I have a sniper rifle that can only fire one round every second, maybe longer, like every 3 seconds, that has a lot lower threat chance than that of weapons that fire 10 rounds a second. So why not have a system like this in place? I mean, granted, but if you were to have a damage cap one, that means things like sniper rifles, which are better suited for this, would actually be just as well. It would be worse. It would be much worse of a handicap. I think realistically, a system like this in play means that you need to be careful of what weapons you bring. You shouldn't just bring your highest DPS rated weapon. You need to think about what it is you're bringing. But there's no clear indication to this is the boss mechanic. That's the real problem, because this isn't something that most people think of. They think bigger equals better. If I bring an A1 Abram, right, a tactical nuke is going to deal with that tank, no problem whatsoever.
I'm sorry, what did you call it?
An A1 Abram, isn't it?
Abrams.
Sorry, apologies, Abram. No. I'm fine to be corrected.
No, I maybe it's one of these things that's like that. I think you're saying how it's written, not how it's pronounced. It is an Abrams. Yeah.
Okay. So
the
M1.
I always forget this one from America. It's Arkansas, not Arkansas.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So crap. What was I saying? Yeah. So a tactical nuke attack. Yeah,
also, no, hang on. I want you to correct that with the British version. We have our own mainstay battle tank, thank you very much. It's just as good.
Which one's ours?
Challenger 2. Well, it's going to be Challenger 3 now, but yeah.
Okay, fine. So we got the Challenger 3.
Thank you.
And then we've got
British. Queen would not approve.
Intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yeah. Do you know what's our intercontinental? I think it's an American produced one. Do you know what? Which ones are? Why are we doing assessment? Ours is Trident.
Oh, I thought it was just called the Trident system. I didn't actually realize that they were Trident missiles.
Missiles, yeah.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, right. So the whole point is that a nuke will wipe out a tank, and that's the mainstay that people will have. So people think, oh, if my gun does higher DPS, it will be better than a gun with lower DPS. Not thinking like this. There's no real world equivalent to this. Oh yeah, slower equals better. So I can totally get behind what this person is saying. If there was some kind of glow to them, maybe if there was like a rainbow glow, which indicates that they have this kind of damage resistance.
I just want to point out, I mean, just I have everything on screen now, for that DE sometimes just wastes visual effects for no reason. Like this Xmas, why is it? Can you look at it? You see how it is?
Yeah, it's glowing.
It's glowing ridiculously, and it's like that really shouldn't be used just to be like, oh look, an Xmas to make it stand out. It's like, oh yeah, you're definitely fighting an Xmas. Look how it's glowing. When it should be used, oh god, that's ridiculous, to indicate, let's say, a mob's weak point, which is what it definitely should be used for. Like, so if that glow there was on just the utility belt of the, I can't remember what the type of name of sentient it is. Yeah, you would definitely spot it.
No. It's the problem here is the Archon itself.
Is the Archon?
So the Archon itself. These guys use the same adaptive damage resistance.
Oh yeah, I know, but I remember somebody saying about the utility belt thing.
Yeah.
And look at this one.
So. That was the previous one. But yeah, so I personally think maybe it's a case of, you know how, Xmas units have like the new armor bar around them, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if it's a case of like, it has like spikes on the health bar or something like that to indicate it has this special damage. We just need some form of indication. This is the mindset to think of, because there is no natural world scenario. If anyone can think of one, please put it in the comments below. I can't think of a scenario, because it's America's motto: bigger equals better, right?
Not quite is, but yeah, okay.
You know, huh?
I don't think that's written down anywhere, but okay.
No, it's not written down anywhere. But like, if you ask any American, like, bigger equals better. I mean, hell, like, on a complete random tangent, we went to Wendy's, Loz. We went to Wendy's and we got a supersized cup, and that lasted us for days. We couldn't take them out of the country because they were so big.
They're kind of big.
Anyway, last one.
Yep. Did it last night. It is garbage. My Wisp with Dispensary did good keeping alive and with ammo. But at some point I got all my energy sucked out and we all went around shooting at the boss as operators to save ammo. Smiley face with cringe face. People with SP ready weapons. SP ready weapons and frames tickling the boss for 10 minutes. SP ready weapons?
Can I think single player?
Yeah.
So I don't know if this person ended up doing it by themselves. For a start, they shouldn't have, because D have said time and time again, you know, this is supposed to be a co-op experience. If you're not co-oping, that's on you, right? And I think they should stick to their guns with that, right?
Definitely.
I'm kind of sad that Railjack, they didn't stick with that, but let's face it, Railjack was kind of a bad launch.
Yes. No, actually, no. I do appreciate the NPCs in Railjack, because they work on a sliding scale to always provide you with 4 people.
Yeah.
Which is good, because then that is what it is scaled to.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that one. But the whole point is that Railjack was not, you know, because the large part of the problem was, I want to take my Railjack. No, I want to take my Railjack. No, I want to take my Railjack. That was always going to happen.
Yep. But it needed, it needed a better UI for putting teams together. It needed a thing where somebody would you would post your ship, and then people would see your ship with ratings and things, and you could either would choose to be captains, or people would choose to be okay, I want to sign up to be on that ship to do that mission, instead of just
a railjack finder.
Yeah, a railjack finder, a separate UI showing it, so you would see the ship. This is the ship we're going to be using definitely for this mission. So people would be like, right, I don't think my ship is very good. I will help out on other people's ships, and I can look through the list. Oh, there's someone with a good ship, rather than just keeping the same group finding system that they always use.
Yeah.
I mean, but sorry, it is. And it's like, oh, we'll just keep using this system even when it's not fit for purpose on this sort of game mode.
Yeah. So, and another point I want to make is you shouldn't be able to use any Warframe or any equipment. It needs to be top tier stuff. Granted, yes, you did a great job with the healing and the ammo and all that stuff, but here's a big thing. Pizzas.
Pizzas?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ammo pizzas, energy pizzas. They're still viable.
They still have a cooldown, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, but like you don't all have to press it at once.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah. If you really were coordinating between, well, and if the cooldown is how it is in Steel Path, where it's per tier of pizza. So yeah, I know. It's like, oh, but that's the lesser energy one. Yeah, but I can still use it, which means you could alternate where somebody uses their level 3, someone uses level 2, someone uses level 1. They just move it slowly across the grouping, and you get loads more. Yeah.
Or someone take a limbo and then like, okay, so I can deal with the energy problems. And I'm not gonna lie, when we did the boss, no one had any ammo problems whatsoever. So again, I think I wouldn't be surprised. Did they say what weapon they took? I don't think they did.
No.
If you were to take an explosive weapon, like again, when we were doing the first attempt of the Archon, and we failed, like I was on my Spore Lacer. I was only doing like 1 to 2k damage. It was piddlingly pathetic, and I couldn't do any of the weak spot damage. But when I took my Rubico, I was doing 6 to 9k damage. That was the numbers. And yeah, so I just think like you should be allowed to fail this. This is a weekly thing. You can try and try again. You should never be able to get this on the first try. And that the point of the person saying about the whole sorry to be crude, but the mentioning of like the whole cum auras and everything like that. I'm sorry, you need to be able to experience this, get it wrong, and then try again. You now know the mechanic. You're not going to get it wrong next time.
True.
So,
yeah.
Or if you do,
and eventually it will become the point where the fight is simple. It's like Eidolons now. People just do multiple Tridolons a night.
Yeah.
Because people just know how to do all this ridiculous stuff.
Again, like Megamo and I doing the first ever raid attempt, right? And it took us the better part of an hour to work out, oh, look, there are these orange pipes leading from the thing we've got to engage with to where the terminals are. Oh, follow the orange pipes. As soon as we worked that, never had a problem with it again. Oh, look, counting in Grenier. Oh, that's not too difficult, right? As soon as I learn how to count in Grenier, problem solved.
Yep.
So, right. I think that's it for topic 1. I think there are problems with the Archons. I think they could do with some additions like the spiky health bar or something to indicate it has this weird damage reduction. But all in all, I think this is a good stepping stone towards the trials where there's going to be more functional mechanical stuff.
Fair.
So, should we go to the next one?
Yep.
Right. Okay. So, topic 2 is a Sentinel rework. This is by TrueArc. TrueArc. Sorry, got to get the name right. TrueArc's concept. Lore and ideas thread part 2. So it's a forum post, and we've got a main document, we've got a summary, we've got everything. So right, does this include pets 2.0? Ooh. Right, so we got ease of use, validity of the within the modern game, consistency with previous aims listed by DEV support, no turrets, weak personal offensive power. Sentinels should be invulnerable to make them competitive with the top meta picks like Panzer Volpifilers. Each Sentinel should have highly unique but usable precepts. Universal precepts should be reduced slightly in cost and allow other survivability mods to provide more value. Sentinel weapon mods would have been tuned up to allow Sentinels to provide more value. Full details in topic. So, should we have a look? Do we want to have a look at the main
ease
one?
of use, validity of mod gain, consistently previous aims is ready. Support
I think
no
these are Tobiah
turrets
notes.
weak. Oh, it's okay. Sentinel should be invulnerable. Make power top picks like Panzerville flyers. Each Sentinel should have highly unique usable preset. Useful preset. Use slightly to allow other types of mods to be more variable. Okay, cool. Do you want to look at the additional?
Do we want to have a look at the main one or the summary doc? I think the summary doc.
Go for it.
Summary doc. Okay. Let me just. Ooh. Can I copy this? Make a copy. Yep. So I need to change the colors because I'm blind. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. What? Control A. Oh, wait, that's the highlight color. Whoops. My bad. Bright page. Setup. Pageless. And then black. Yeah, I can read it now. Or I could if I didn't highlight everything like a spoon. Right. So, Pet 2.0. Introduction of flying pets to the roster. Kondrox. So we've got the addition of Kondrox as a companion, which has never come in. Animation categories for pets. Think of these as parallels to the MOA animation system. Lineage perk system for breeding pets from imprints. Oh, so I assume that would be a case of like, oh, if you breed these two pets together, you get like this lineage path, and like, you know, the whole golden chocobo thing in Final Fantasy VII.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I was really shocked. I mean, I remember from the start when Sheldon used to say we were going to have like. I don't know if he actually said Mendelian genetics. I think he did, because I remember I started writing an entire document to explain to people what it meant and how that would enable you to game the system and like this and this and this and multiple, you know, up to the point I think of doing three different stats and explaining how the different features would cross breed and things like that. And in the end, it was just nothing. So I just deleted. I think I deleted the document in spite. It was several pages long. I know that.
Yeah. The another system is like feat system. Pets no longer have mod slots, but gain the benefits of mods as passive bonuses if you have them equipped while performing achievements once per account. Okay. Skill trees. So they've actually come up with skill trees for 4 different skill trees. I don't know if we could actually see these skill trees up close. Oh, can I zoom in at all and see these? Vaguely. So they come up with different skill trees for the different pets. That one's an owl. I recognize that as an owl. Then the final one of the 4 on the next page is unlocked when one of the pets has unlocked the nodes of the other tree. Of the other 3. So basically, I think the pets have to unlock all the trees before the 4th node on each tree becomes available. Or is it the 4th tree becomes available? I'm not entirely sure. New pet functionality can donate pets to an animal shelter or adopt them with additional lineage perks. clans that adopt a lot of pets can also make an additional room in the dojo, the menagerie. I can pronounce that word, the menagerie. This will allow you to buff your pets with further food buffs. I like that. I like the fact that, oh yeah, the dojo is actually getting a use.
Yeah, it's a shame. Why don't they keep... They come up with an idea, and then what'll happen is they'll think, oh, this is great, and then they'll be like, oh, but let's put this in the relay.
Yeah. Last but not least, a command system using the G key to command your pets to do context-specific tasks. This system was recently added in the game with Call of Duty. So, like, the quest, you actually get to experience Carl issuing commands to other Grineer. And yeah, it's basically you press the G key, you go into this command mode. You can't attack or anything in this. You point at something, you click your left mouse button or your trigger or whatever, and then Carl will issue the order to your team, and they will go do that action. So if you point at the random point in the ground, they'll just like defend that point in the ground. If you point to an obstacle, they'll go and destroy that obstacle, things like that. So yeah, I think if we're starting to see a command system for Carl and friends, why can't we see that for pets? One thing I will say though is the commands need to issue a lot faster, because when I was doing it in the quest, like there's this weird slow animation of him like pointing at stuff. I'm like, no, let me shoot. Yeah. Cool. So that's the summary doc. What's the main doc? So this is the Sentinel rework. So this is a 5-page doc. Do we want to go through this as well?
Yeah, if there's any points you think there's useful in there, yeah.
Okay, let me. So this seems to be the actual Sentinel rework. The other one seems to be Pets 2.0. So let me just quickly tweak things so I can read it like a real boy. I like reading things like real boy. Cool. Right. So Sentinel rework by Teoarch. Special thanks to AG Gamma and Hoodie Deku. The aim of this document is to lay out some core feature changes to Sentinels. These changes aim to target ease of use, validity in the modern game, consistency with previous aims listed by DE, so support no turrets, weak personal offensive power. Defenses, Sentinels should be invulnerable to make them competitive with top meta picks like the Panzer Vulpaphilas.
Right.
Vulpaphiler. Because I'm pretty sure the Panzer Vulpaphiler is the one that when it dies, it just becomes this little worm thing that hangs around until it respawns. It's a Kavat sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mods that were there sorry, let me zoom in actually. The mods that were there to buff Sentinel's survivability could then be used to buff the player's warframe. For instance, enhanced vitality, 110% health on owner, calculated redirection, 135% shields on owner. I think that's supposed to be like 2 owner. And then to cover more involved interactions, primed regen. When you are left at 25% health or lower, your Sentinel will restore 50% of your health over 3 seconds. This has a cooldown of 90 or 60 seconds. Synth fiber, when you pick up a health orb, your armor will increase by 100% for 12 seconds. That's a lot. I'm sure that can't stack.
No,
I mean, that would just, that would instantly make the those blue defense crystals even more important. Right. Finally, mods that are nullified by Sentinels being invulnerable. Sacrifice. Sentinels that will take 4 seconds to revive is cooldown. It's cooldown. It's downed owner to 100% health. It will be unable to use precepts or provide buffs for 30 seconds. Sentinels will take 4 seconds to revive its down owner to 100% health and shields. It will be unable to use. So basically, that's the replacement. Self-destruct change to Vengeance precept. When its owner is down, the Sentinel will gain the output of its owner's equipment primary weapon for 15 seconds, or until the owner is revived. It will be unable to use precepts or provide buffs for 30 seconds. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one, because sometimes it's my secondary that's my big gun, not my primary. Sometimes, spare parts relegated to a loot acquisition precept. This will be covered in the next section. Repair kit, +6 heal rates on owner. Okay, I'm not quite sure how I feel about Sentinels just constantly healing the player.
That should be modded. It shouldn't be default sort of thing.
No, it is a mod.
Yeah.
Right? But the whole point is that it's like a constant +6 health per second.
It's hard to tell with that. I don't know how much +6 health per second would be. That's 60 health every 10 seconds, 600 health, 3,000.
That it's a tiny number. It's a tiny number. I would much rather, when player gets to 10% health, it just dispenses a health orb every X seconds.
I can't unsee anymore. Sorry, I've just realised that Cyanax has peck danglies.
Yeah.
Can I not see
you not noticed that before?
No, I didn't. Can I put something over the top of these? Sorry, back to things.
Yeah, I think I just prefer if it just dispensed the health orb periodically. If you're on low health, it just go health orb. You're just trying hard to cover it up, aren't you?
Yep.
I don't think you're going to be able to.
They're too far to the side, yeah.
I mean, the good news is they're at the front, and you're not looking at that part.
That's true. That's true.
All right. Should we go to the other precepts that there are a lot of?
What is that? Yeah, keep going.
Right, so precepts are the core difference between each Sentinel. Therefore, it is important to list them on a functional level in no particular order. So Worm, crowd control CC, status removal on user. Shade, conditional invisibility, ambush attack. Taxon provides overshields. Which one's the Taxon? Is that the baby Tenno's first?
Yeah.
Okay. Helios scans objects and enemies during combat, adds weak spots to fully codex complete enemies. Death Cube deals damage to closer enemies, energy regeneration. Carrier ammo conversion and increase opens nearby containers and increase. I assume that's increased capacity on the ammo. The Gen CC and damage comes back to life on a long timer after death and continue to provide support. The dirigible, close range CC support, both single target and multi-target. The Oculus, fishing, plant scans, container radar. The Nautilus, thank you. Railjack repair, enemy group CC. Enemy grouping CC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the value of these precepts are mixed. Back in 2018, before the release of the Fetch mod for pets, the usage stats looked like those in Figure 1. It is likely now that the Smita Kavat can both provide a buff to double loot drops and help pick them up. That its position in the totem pole has skyrocketed to first place. So this is, I think, DE's list. Yes, figure 1. Most of the companion stats are listed in a dev stream during 2018. So, like, you got Helios Prime as the first, Taxon as second, Carrier Prime as third, so on, and the Smutacavat's fifth. So the belief is that the Smutacavat's going to skyrocket. Right. Unfortunately, the 2020 stats does not cover the companion usage, but a recent survey by Puzzle G does. From the data, even in a small sample size, Cavats are ahead of Sentinels. A further breakdown might still find that Helios and Taxon would maintain the dominant placing amongst the Sentinels. Why Taxon? Why Helios? Taxon is provided to a player when they complete the Venus junction on Earth. Given it is handed to the player on the first planet, it is likely that the player will spend a long time using it before moving on to other Sentinels or even pets. Helios, on the other hand, performs a tedious task virtually for free and allows a player to deal increased damage, further backed by a weapon that prioritizes headshots, which deal not insignificant damage. I've just put deal significant damage. The biggest loser on the roster, however, is likely the Sentinel Carrier. Carrier used to have the vacuum as a personal precept and became a near instant must-have players for players that did not want to have to walk over loot to pick it up. With the introduction of the primary and secondary extra slots, its valuable ammo conversion precept has been overtaken by the conversional vigilante supplies. Vigilant?
I think it's vigilante.
Controversial vigilante supplies. An Exless mod that not only provides ammo conversion but also boosts crit hits. What the hell is this? Sorry, I need to look this up real quick. Warframe wiki vigilante supplies.
Oh no! Don't push emblems. Go over.
I've got it in front of me.
Pause. Education complete. We have abused the wiki.
Yeah, we now understand.
But this only works for secondary ammo into primary ammo.
Yes. So if you have a primary weapon, I mean, I don't think there's a secondary version of the weapon aside of the mod, but I mean, most people use their primary weapons anyway, unless you're a Spore Lacer man.
Well, it depends on where the current meta is. I mean, many times secondary weapons have been the thing more than just Spore Lacer, kit guns. You know.
But still, it's a valuable point. So its weapon, which was good for stunning close enemies and killing low-level enemies, has been bested by the Taxon's Artax even. The Nautilus's Verglass, and the number of other weapons available to Sentinels. So basically, there's a bunch of weapons that outdo the Carrier's shotgun. Okay. However, this last point should not take away from the point that the utility of Sentinels should be improved, not their offensive power. Therefore, the precepts should be changed as thus. Okay, so I've lost my mouse. Right. Carrier ammo case changed to empowered ammunition. Sorry, empowered ammunition. Whenever its owner picks up ammunition, ammo efficiency and flight speed / beam length is increased by 50% for 10 seconds. Double for bows. Cooldown for 30 seconds. Whenever an owner picks up ammunition, I think that 30 seconds should be a lot less. Right? I like where this is going because, I use a lot of projectile-based weapons, but that 30 seconds, you're picking up ammo so goddamn fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be fine with that if that was like 3 seconds. You know.
Mm.
Looter increases the volume of ambient loot indicators by 50% as long as you're within 100 meters of them. I don't understand what that means. Increase the volume of ambient loot indicators. I don't understand what you mean by ambient loot indicators.
I think like there's when people pick up. Oh, they've changed it. I don't think there's any that actually work anymore like that. The only things I could think of are the ones which people manually put in.
Okay. And then a new precept, spare parts. Carrier drops a rare resource after assisting in 30 kills. I'll be down for that.
Yeah.
Get me my argon crystals.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Death Cube. Vaporize. Deal 300 heat damage up to 5 enemies within 20 meters with 10% status chance. Energy generator. Change 10 kill assists to 5. I'm not quite sure what energy generator does.
Wiki?
I'm gonna check.
It's like every so many kills, it pumps out an energy orb, I think.
Okay. I've lost the dock. There it is. So it would pump out an energy orb once every 5 kills. Okay, it's not too bad. Kill assists.
Yeah, it's like on 15 at the moment or something. It's quite a large amount.
I think it's 10.
Yeah.
They're saying change 10 to 5.
Oh, there you go. But it does feel quite. It depends. Like in where I'm playing the game now on low levels, 10 kills is nothing. But then 10 kills later in end game becomes quite hard to kill 10 mobs. So
top level content.
Top level.
Yeah. Right. The dirigible. Both precepts work well. In order to support melee better, however, they could be changed to alternate between heat, electric, and radiation damage to provide condition overload support.
Okay.
Fair?
Yeah.
The Jin Fatal Attraction as is. Reawaken. When its owner is downed, it will revive them with 100% health, shields, and provide 40% damage reduction for 5 seconds. This can only occur once every 90 seconds. Seems legit. Helios, both precepts are best in class, and no change can be made without completely changing what they do. So they stay as is. Oculus's exploration precepts are good as they are. However, scan matter is less useful than animal instinct in most situations. New precept, Cove Ward, cloaks owner in fishing spears. Wait. Cloak's owner if fishing spear is equipped for 10 or more seconds. This is disrupted if the owner switches weapon. So basically, if you just got
so you can fish in peace.
Yeah,
that's quite sensible.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Totally 100% down with that. The Nautilus precepts are good. Shade, Ghost, cloak's owner when enemy is within 10 meters. The cloak is disrupted if the owner attacks. I don't know what its current.
I thought that's what it was.
No, I think it's a lot closer. I think it's like stupidly close. Let's have a look at the shade. Can I see its? There's its ghost ability. Cloak owner when enemies within. Oh, that is what it is.
I always thought it was too small and didn't go off enough.
Ambush when ghost invisibility is broken, shade owner is granted 120% damage for 3 seconds. If the owner kills 3 or more enemies while the buff is active, ghost is reapplied. This ability has a cooldown for 30 seconds. That's interesting, but I'd possibly make that shorter, that 30-second cooldown shorter. Maybe like 20 seconds or something.
Maybe.
Taxon molecular conversion as it is. New precept, Tachyon Field. While shields are at or above 100% capacity, casting speed, reloading speed, and mobility are increased by 10%. Interesting. Worm, crowd dispersion, unleashes a radial pulse that deals 100% impact damage on enemies with 10 meters with a 50% status chance. Does impact have a status chance that's terrify? I think it makes them run away.
Impact?
Also, yeah.
Impact?
What's the impact?
I thought it was stun.
Maybe it is a stun.
What do you mean the damage type?
No. Impact. The status chance. You know damage types have status chances, yes?
Yeah, hang on. Let's go look it up.
It is stagger. It is to flinch and recoil backwards. Subsequently, procs increase the stagger duration up to 10 stacks, with each stack having its own duration of 6 seconds.
Yeah. Like, did you say it was terrify? Well, how would that work?
I thought it was. Well, they ran away.
Oh no! I got slapped in the face.
I'm running away now.
Yeah, but think of it as a solid stog shotgun shot. Like, it's a big thud. It's not going to make you go, ah! It's making you go, oh.
I think if someone like shot me with a shell from a shotgun, I'd probably be dead. But you know.
Yeah, but let's say it hit you in the shoulder.
Probably still be bleeding out.
But no, you wouldn't be, because it's flat. It's a flat metal. Boom.
Do you not know what like elephant killer ammunition is?
Isn't it?
It's just one round. It's just one solid chunk.
Oh well, let's not get into a debate about bullets and the effect on people.
Slugs.
Yeah.
Right. Negate. Worm prevents status effects from applying it to its owner once every 5 seconds for 3 incoming. Wait, what? Worm prevents status effects from applying to its owner once every 5 seconds and blocks 3 incoming damage sources every 15 seconds. Okay, that's kind of weird.
I don't say that fits with Worm's existing thing of being like a knockdown sentinel, but yeah. So it's being a protective sentinel as well, okay.
Yeah. So then we got universal precepts. We've not got much more. Universal precepts are things like Guardian, Assault Mode, Coolant Leak, and Vacuum. Most of these abilities are in a good spot. However, I would change Coolant Leak from a 3-meter ability to a 10 or even 15-meter ability. 3 meters is a tiny radius and barely worth slotting at present. Animal Instinct and Primed Animal Instinct could also have their mod capacity reduced to 6 and 11 respectively. Weapon mods. DE has gone on record multiple times objecting to the introduction of turrets being added to the game, specifically weapons, abilities, and companions or interactions in which the game can be automated. This led, among other things, to the removal of companion weapons from the Riven pool for a time. However, this privilege has since been reinstated. However, it is not as simple as removing Rivens, and the situation is resolved. Indeed, even without them being like the Deconstructor Prime, without them weapons like the Deconstructor Prime can and will kill level 60 enemies with ease. What should be done instead is something that leans into the usage of sentinel weapons for Vigilante, and Gladiator set mod buffs, mods applied to Sentinel weapons are there in case the effectiveness of the player's weapon, not the Sentinel's. Wait, sorry, this is hard to read. What should be done instead is something that leans into the usage of Sentinel weapons for Vigilante and Gladiator set mod buffs. Mods applied to Sentinel weapons are there to increase the effectiveness of the player's weapons, not the Sentinels. Right, okay. Reading is hard, apparently. This becomes even more critical as I have set up this document, a situation in which a Sentinel can continue to operate indiscriminately despite a mission's state. Author note, this is something I have wanted since they first considered whether Sentinels requiring a second set of weapon mods should be an actionable issue or not. Since providing a comprehensive list might take a while, it might be best to focus on the important bonus as examples. For instance, leading shot, there's just a lot of numbers and things for like weapon mods and things. So do you want me to go through them or just like leave them?
No, I'll leave it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I kind of agree with a lot of what's being said in here.
Yeah, the key crux of it is they're trying to reinvent Sentinels, give them a bit more of a unique feel and more precepts, more interesting things going on with them. I do feel they've been heavily neglected for quite a while. The fact that they normally only get one ability or precept thing, and then they get like a mod or something to do with that, like the Death Cubes one. You know, if you kill 10 mobs with it or assists, it drops an energy orb, and it's like, well... It's called a Death Cube. How does that make sense that it's like, oh, it's also sportive? It's that. It's like, so it just kind of feels weird. I've never been a big fan of it. I think I've got it installed just for the sake of it, but because I use Death Cube a lot. One thing though, I don't think I didn't hear mentioned is that I feel there's something the Jin has about resurrecting. I think it's a passive. I can't remember if it's a mod or not, where it always regenerates. I personally feel all Sentinels need that. That's the key.
No,
thing.
they said at the start, all Sentinels should just be immune, right?
Immune.
Just like,
okay.
So like they just don't die because with the existence of companions like the Panzer.
Oh yes, they're saying about the Panzer Wildfire. Yeah. Well, to be honest, actually, it makes sense. So what? Why even bother with the health bar? Ignore the Wildfire thing. Why give the Sentinel a health bar? I mean, you can't. It's very hard. I can't choose to defend it separately. I can't change my tactics to help myself with it. It just is there with a health bar. Why not just have it tied to your Warframe's health, and then if you get knocked down, it disables, and then it makes sense.
Well, I mean, you can't engage. I mean, maybe the Sentinels should just be purely utilitarian.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just a 100% that just does things.
Yeah. So it doesn't do any shooting or nothing like that. It just like, maybe the Death Cube could be like, oh yeah, it empowers like your offhand weapon with one super shot, and you just swap to the offhand weapon, like, oh, I fire this, and like, boom, big. What's the name of the gun you always used? Opticore, like big opticore blast, and then it just wipes out whatever's in front of it, and then it's like, oh, now it's back to normal firing. I just feel that, Sentinels should be more of a non-interactable thing and just, support the player rather than a source of damage, which is what they very quickly became in their inception, but now they're neglected solely because of their lack of usefulness. Because they're not a good source of damage.
Yeah, no, I just think keep the damage, have more mods that tie into the damage, tying into other things, but get rid of the health bars. I mean, I literally mod my Excalibur for dispensary simply so that, like, for instance, if we ever do another 24 hours thing, or when we do another 24 hours thing, I'll just be able to have it up, because I think I took it on both, and it was just on any long-term mission, it's just a detriment, because it will just die, and then eventually you'll run out of revives, and then that's it. It's gone forever. So there's just no point having it if you can't bring it back. So either they always the they come back after, let's say, a minute of play or something, and that the Jin just has it quicker, or just get rid of the health bars altogether. It's just silly that they have a health bar, really. I mean, it made sense when it was just, that's all we had was Sentinels. Okay, we'll give them a health bar. But then since all the other pets have come in, yeah, a Pets 2.0 that reassesses it. Okay, well, what is the real benefit of giving it a health bar? Is there any? I don't think there is. It just means it can die. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Permanently for the mission to revive. Also, why does it come back when you revive and not by itself normally? It just feels so just
antiquated.
Yeah, and vestigial part of the game that was made sense when they were first installed, and that's all there was. But now they just don't need to belong in the game. I should be doing things, shouldn't I? Yes.
Yeah. So they need this whole utilitarian redesign.
Yeah.
So I like what Teoarch has come up with. I kind of wish we could actually get some replies from others, to talk about. I'd love to know what other people think about the Sentinels. Does anyone use Sentinels anymore? I know I've used my Sabita Kavat for freaking ever. I know I need to, get a Vopifiler. I need to get the sorry, not the Vopifiler, the the vampire kitty. I can't ever remember what his name is. It Visa?
Oh, the ones from the nighttime on the plains, yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't done it. I think it's a good concept and things, but a part of me was like, well, I'm MR30. Do I really need to push to get to like Legendary 2, which I know Nazareth is and things? So,
what, are you Legendary 1?
No.
Well,
I'm MR30.
I don't think yeah, but you get to Legendary 1.
And then what?
Well, just
get to Legendary 2.
No. My goal is always from now on to be try to be at least just no further than one behind. Because to get to the highest one, you have to have like every K drive done and all this other stuff, and it's just like But
and no one wants to do K drive.
No one wants to do K drive. It's our fault, by the way. We know it's our fault.
Yeah, it's our fault.
Yeah,
we could have saved you all, but we didn't.
We didn't. We failed you for being sleepy and tired.
Damn,
just said like, that's an interesting idea. I do hope you're going to remove Arcwing so that they actually, because otherwise I just use my Arcwing. If only we said that, we would have saved everyone. They would have made more sense. They would have been cool.
And we would have been branded the heroes that Canada deserved.
Yep, that's true.
What were we thinking? Or not thinking?
No, we weren't thinking. It's true.
Anyway, yeah. So. I don't know. Do you want to go straight to the third topic?
There's no replies on this.
No. This is a separate doc. Yeah. I mean, Teoarch, please feel free if you do put these.
Oh, Teoarch will just reply in the comments, so I'm sure Teoarch will reply to that.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, like, if you do get replies, if you do put this on the forum, right? And you get replies, please feel free to include some replies so that we.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But yeah, I'm
a link to the forum post so we can read through it.
I think we actually have that.
So it is on the forum.
So I didn't think. Yes, we do have the. Do you want me to just go through it, or do you want me to link it to you?
Just if you link it to me, and I'll go stand on this thing, and then I will attempt to read out.
Do that thing.
Or attempt to randomly read out a few. Replies. It's really tricky because people are asking questions like, "What about 300 of this?" Also, there's many posts by TR. It's many. I'm still scrolling through many. There's a graph. Many. What that's to do? That's wow. Okay. Many. As UI. Many. Okay. Maybe not. There's so much.
Hey, it's World of Warcraft.
9 pages. Okay, well, let's just move on to the next topic then, because obviously we don't have.
Cool.
See, this is why it proves how awesome the job that Tobiah does by filtering out the replies for useful ones. Because we're trying to play the game and find amazing replies is not something I can easily do. Right, so let's move on to the third topic, which I will click there.
Press the button. Cool. Right, the Azima has been gutted. Prior to today, the Azima, the oldest of the login reward weapons and one that has long been considered the worst, quietly sat on top of a number of jank interactions built up since release. Which one's the Asthma? Is that the pistol?
Yes.
So there were 3 things that could adjust the duration of the turret: magazine size, fire rate, and ammo efficiency. Getting turrets to last multiple minutes was very possible with good ribbons and a willingness to stack buffs. You could push past 10 minutes. It was extremely high investment and only applicable on very certain situations. But it was useful. It never hit the meta. It never hit the meta, though. The turret is now hard capped at 10 seconds. Magazine size, fire rate, and ammo efficiency no longer matter. 10 seconds flat for 75 pistol ammo. The Azima is dead once again, and DE has killed it. Having enjoyed the weapon in question as a quirky, high-investment alternative playstyle, I find this gutting rather heartbreaking. I'm not going to try and argue that multiple minutes wasn't really strong, balanced by all of the obvious drawbacks of using the fucking Asthma, but gutting it down to 10 seconds returns it to the uselessness that it has been known for. And it's a damn shame. They could have restricted it in any number of far more nuanced ways, but instead they took everything away and did so quietly.
So what are they saying?
So basically, apparently you could throw this gun on the floor and... Hold on, I just want to make sure that it is the pistol. I want to triple check.
Is it the pistol where you chuck out the disc and the disc shoots things?
No, the disc is the melee weapon. So it is the pistol.
It still shot out a disc, I thought, but the disc just did...
Maybe it is. Alt fire ejects the entire magazine into a single shot that spawns an automated turret that shoots enemies.
At nearby directions and nearby enemies in all directions, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did shoot out a disc, but it was just, it shot. Okay. So what they're saying, then, is that the changes have made it so that...
It only lasts 10 seconds instead of 10 minutes. What are your thoughts on this?
I can see why DE didn't... It's obviously the fact you can make it run for 10 minutes is a bit of an oversight. That is automation. And the whole thing is they don't want automation in play. I feel you could come up with a clever method of farming the game by putting that down and then just having a thing that would just push your character just like this every few seconds to get loot or, make things from it. So the problem with that kind of stuff is that it might not have been used to abuse anything today, but at some point someone will find some way of using it to do something in some new form of content or acquire some new form of thing that it does have a very negative effect, and then it has to get nerfed. So however, do I feel this nerf was too harsh? 10 seconds, that feels really... It's the same thing I have with Proteus turrets. I really like the idea of Proteus turrets. I hate the fact that they last 2 seconds.
Fair.
Yeah, you just put... I would like them to at least last 20 seconds at least. I don't know how high you can push them. But the fact with this, that 10 seconds is the maximum, that's nothing. I mean, we could have 10 seconds of silence to see how long that is. It might feel like a long time, but it really isn't. Especially is that the entire clip wasted for that?
Yeah.
No longer matters. 10 seconds flat for 75 pistol ammo. Yeah, that I really feel that's too high of a nerf. 30 seconds, maybe. 30 seconds, every time you're pumping out a clip and you can go around. I mean, don't be wrong, it is an advantage because you can throw down the pistol and then swap to your rifle and keep shooting while it's shooting. I'm not sure how much damage output there is for it, but I think 10 seconds is too far. That's too harsh of a nerf. That's just my blank view without looking at it.
I don't know how many of these you can have.
How many of these?
How many turrets you can throw out?
Oh, I thought it was just one.
There's nothing indicating here, just one.
Let's have a bit of a chest, shall we?
Gonna go to the simulacrum?
No, I'm just gonna go to a mission and quit later.
Make sure you go solo.
Yep, of course. You. Oh, okay.
This is one of the advantages of why we want to keep the ability to play with. It's like be able to play on recording.
Let's just quickly pop into a mission. I remember I'm looking at it. I used to have a build for this for fun. I've got it that when you have it holstered, it reloads. So let's see. So where's my secondary shoot? Right, there's one. Oh, you can have multiple.
So I hate to say this. 10 minutes. Fuck off.
If each one of these lasts 10 minutes, I mean, I know there's no mods in this gun, is why they're not doing any damage. But if you could have each of these lasting 10 minutes, I'm shocked because you could easily fit, with an ammo restore. I just keep pelting these out. Yeah. I thought you could have one up at a time.
Yeah, if it was one, sure, right, I'm with you. But a part of me was like, this is all about the time duration on exploration, right? There's nothing on the wiki about only being able to have X many, right? There's a cap of how many.
Hang on a minute. I think I can make this worse. Because I've realised the limiting factor is reload speed.
Okay.
So I could probably spam this. I'm gonna go. Let's have a quick go modding this, and then just spamming.
Have a quick pause. Let's have a quick pause.
Okay.
Let's.
So it won't take me long, but okay. We'll do it anyway. Of course. Radio. So I haven't done anything particularly clever. I haven't even got primed reload speed max or anything. I've just gone for basic reload speed. And so we just see how fast I can just spam these out now.
Yep.
Just gonna spam these out. I don't even know how many I've got. Yeah, look at that. See this? Oh, you're not even looking.
Sorry. Oh my god.
Now I know these can only last 10 seconds, but let's just keep putting down some pads. Now I'm gonna have to check the notes to say is it limited to definitely 10 seconds. Any more pads? Because the wiki does seem to say that you can increase it with upping the ammo efficiency and the ammo pool of the gun. Oh.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that has been hard removed, but doesn't say it on the wiki. Maybe it has, but 10 minutes of these, I simply think that this was a unknown, abusable mechanic. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just 10 minutes. These lasting 10 minutes? No way. No way.
I like. Sorry, I mean, zero offense when I say this, but I love how you've changed your tune.
Why? Because I thought it was like. I thought no, but the key point there was I thought you could only have one up at a time.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever used it not one at a time. I just put down one, then would swap to my secondary, and then it would reload. I had a mod on it where it would reload while it was holstered, and I thought you could only have one. The fact that you can have any based on clip size, yeah. If it was limited to one, then I don't think it'd be bad if it lasts 10 minutes. But then, because it's fixed, it's in that one room, and it's going to sit there, and it's going to last, and go pew 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 pew.
Yeah. For everyone's benefit of what the fuck I'm doing, so cats come in my bedroom, and he was just constantly stood next to the door wanting to go out. But I opened the door and he wouldn't go out. I'm like, do you want cuddles? Like, what do you want? And it's like, I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to sit next to the door. Bloody cats. I'm so glad that Kavats don't do this. You just imagine Kavats just stood by the door of the Lisette and just standing here. What do you want? What do you want, cat? I'm just stood here. Just doing nothing.
It would sit at the navigation terminal and you wouldn't be able to access it and be like, do you want to do a mission? Do you do a mission? No.
No.
Just going to sit here. It's like, well, I can't do mission until you choose if you're in a mission or not. So either go down there or you're a mission. I'm going to sit here and stare at you.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, it's a cat. What do you expect it to do? It's what a cat does. Right, but I mean, I do feel this is a unique, cool concept of a gun. I just think it needs rebalancing. If it has been hard capped to 10, that's too harsh. If you can spawn infinite of them lasting 10 minutes apiece, that's also wrong.
Yeah.
I think there should have been a happy medium somewhere a bit higher than 10 seconds, though. So I am partly sympathetic to this person, but I think that maybe it was too good before.
Simple solution, right? You can have any number between 1 and 3 of these at a time.
Yeah, 3 feels fine, yeah.
Yeah, you put out more than 3. I mean, but you got to consider the low-level players.
Low-level players won't have that gun.
No, but if people go into environments with it, I mean, granted, it's a really niche situation.
People can go into low level. Remember when I didn't believe that you could kill mobs out of range to get thingy? People could still do that with Ember.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so stupidity still exists in the game, yeah. And that, and I imagine there must be other methods. It's just the only method I could come up with. I'm sure loads of clever people can come up with loads of clever methods of doing ridiculous things. So I hardly believe this poor pistol needs to suffer the wrath of that concept just for maybe. You know.
No, I'll give you that. Yeah. Okay. Right. In all honesty, okay, so my change would be not 10 seconds, but like you can have probably three of these turrets at a time. So like, yeah, you could have them the longest turrets in the known universe. You can only have 3. But then there is I think people would find a hefty balance where the gun's damage output is actually quite significant, but the duration maybe is just 1 minute, so you have to pump these out once a minute. That's not a problem.
Yeah, maximum of 3 with a maximum duration of 1 minute seems quite balanced and fair to me. You can't have millions of them up so that you can't get billions of multi-shot, and they don't last for 10 minutes, so you can just leave one in an area and run away.
I would also be mindful of maybe capping their damage output. Maybe. But I think it would be a case of you do the small changes first, and then you just see what the impact is. This is one of the big things that I want to criticize not only DE but the player base for. Like, you should only tweak one thing at a time, assess the situation, and then decide what other tweaks to make. You shouldn't make like a big set of changes and go like, well, I have no idea what fixed or broke this situation anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's why I really appreciate, I don't know if they're going to do the second layer of changes, when they said, oh, we're doing these changes to explosive weapons, and this is what we're going to start with, and if this isn't enough, we're going to move on to adding this as well.
Yes. Yeah.
This is very good.
Yeah. Right. Should we go straight into the replies?
Yeah. That really sucks. I always wanted to try it for the status. Just having this weird disco turret specifically for condition overload, but never really got around to it. It always sucks and feels unfair when those unique things get gutted.
Nah, I'm sorry. Like, nah. Just nah.
No, I agree with them, but at the same time, it's probably because cleverly some people may have been quiet about it, but they were abusing it, and it was doing silly things.
Yeah.
And when things are doing silly things, they need to
it ruins it for everyone.
Yeah, and maybe they caught this one before it became mainstream, but that's just good, not bad. But, you know. Next reply, man, I haven't played Warframe in years, but I really feel for you, OP. The Asthma wasn't my favourite weapon, but I did find it neat, and so while I can't offer much, you have my sympathy. Yeah, I do agree with them on that. I mean, if it was... I feel that this 10-second, if it's definitely hard capped to 10 seconds, that's too much. It's too harsh of a nerf, and I'm trapped in this room. Why am I trapped in this room? There we go. If it is definitely hard capped with no ability to adjust or increase it at all, but maybe they just wanted it to be a bit of a gimmick weapon, and that's it.
Quite possibly.
Is that an enemy? Why is that an enemy? Okay, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, so maybe you're just like, hey, this is just a bit of a gimmick weapon. We didn't want it to be meta. It's breaking the game. We need to have a look into adjusting this. And that's what they've done.
I do like the fact that they've taken this hard stance of, no, we are not wanting people to automate playing the game. Yeah. Right? I do like that they've actually taken this hard stance. So,
and also being consistent with it. It is
yeah.
good of them being consistent.
Well, it's like, what you remember the name. I can never remember the name. Is it Exalted Turret, where people would go into that one tiny little corridor with a Vauban and Exalted Blade? No, not Exalted Blade.
I know there was it
was Excalibur and
a Vault as well.
Was there a Vault as well?
Yes, because that made you invincible, and as the blades went through the shield, they gained electric damage.
Oh, yeah, and it was just like, well, you know, what's the fucking point? You know, I hated that with a passion. So they need to reduce these opportunities for automation. And I mean, people might, but this is how life is. Yeah, this is how life is, but it doesn't mean you have to tolerate it. Anyway, is that it for the replies?
No, I used a lower fire rate to have the discs out longer. A fun gimmick. Didn't realise it could be turned up to 11. Never had a player complain I was AFKing. DE's on a warpath on anything resembling a turret. Are Sentinels next? Vapor Spectres?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, you've admitted that you were AFKing. Like, you've never had a player AFK. Complain about AFKing. Were you even there to witness it? Because
that's a good question. Yeah,
you know, like, the mission's finished. Okay, cool. Like, the number of people over the years we have had topics of people complaining about AFKers. It's been massive. Everyone's complained about AFKers. I've complained about AFKers. So I cannot believe for a second that this person has not had someone complain about them. So I just think personally, like, they just haven't witnessed it. Could be. A lot of people complain about things in without being upfront about it. So what's the stupid saying? Like, one complaint actually equals like 1 million complaints.
Yes, well, because the majority are silent, and so
yes,
yeah.
So yeah. So, yeah, I'm sorry if you're going to outwardly admit, AFK. I'm like, that's not a good thing to
I've
admit.
never seen anyone moan at me for AFKing. Yeah, that's because you're not there to witness it. Yeah, I can understand that one.
Okay, should we go to the last one?
Yeah. Anything that allows you to sit and watch enemies die is getting nerfed because DE doesn't want that in their game, but half the shit that is used does that, and it's just upsetting that people enjoy it to force everyone into one game style.
True.
I must say what they're getting there. What are they saying?
So basically, this is the whole mentality of just sitting on your ass and AFKing, right? This is like, I'll just watch this movie while I do an endurance farm, while I have a gajillion things. I could just put like an auto hotkey thing on that randomly presses a button. I could make a little circuit board that periodically at random intervals just press this one button to dispense ammo, pizzas, and these discs. And I could just sit there and just watch this movie and collect all the steelies I need. But DE don't want this in their game, too rightly so, in my opinion. But if they don't act on it, it's just effectively giving credence for players to do this. This is what happened with Heroes of the Storm, because Blizzard were not actively preventing people from using bots in Heroes of the Storm it gave more credence for people to do it. The legitimate players stopped playing the game, and then it just became a downhill mess, and then the game died.
But I don't get the second half here. What are they saying here? With let's kill these things that attack me. Half the shit that is used does that, and it's just upsetting the people that enjoy it to force everyone into one game style.
Yeah. So if everyone starts, like, why did Ember with World on Fire get?
Oh, okay, I see. So it's saying the people who enjoy the AoE stupidness to force everyone to play the AoE stupidness. Okay.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Yep.
Thumbs up.
Well, that's it for that topic then. It's a shame. I do feel that it's been a bit too harsh, but at the same time, I can see at least they're trying to be consistent. They're trying to universally across the board remove all automated play styles. It is something that maybe they have not been paying attention to for quite a while, and they're trying to do maybe going a bit too far with this change, but I can see what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah. Cool. So it's time to move on to Zeraphs. Do you want to put the topics away?
I push the button. There you go.
All right. So we got the graphs. So the first graph, we got 9 graphs. We got the first graph. How do you feel about this week's episode being 2 topics and 1 concept? 0% said negative, 42% said neutral, and 58% said positive.
What a pointless graph. People aren't going to... It's like, more content. I don't want more content. No one said no.
No, seriously. No, I mean, like, I've known people to say, like, they're too long. Too long. Make short.
Yeah,
too long.
It was like people who said, like, split it into different topics, and were like, no, it wasn't worth it. All right, but anyway.
But we tried it.
Yeah, we did try it. It wasn't worth it. That's what I mean. We at least tried it.
Yeah.
But that graph, pointless.
Right, next one is, how do you feel about weekly Archon fights in the new upcoming Archon sorties? So this was obviously before the patch just dropped, and no one knew it was fucking coming. It's just like, oh, there it is, right?
Yeah.
So 5%
I thought it was coming out at the end of the month. I'm quite surprised. It's nice sometimes. Yeah.
5% said negative, 37% said neutral, and 58% said positive. Right. The next graph, how long do you think the Archon's sorties should last? Right. So 16% said 3+ hours, more than an evening's worth of warframing. 37% said less than 1.5 hours, about the same time as a regular sortie can last. And 47% said between 1.5 hours and 3 hours, still doable in a single evening.
Okay.
I'm fine with that one being the major pick, but I still reiterate my preference is to span it over multiple days, because I've done it now. Now what?
Yeah, I mean, where was the point? I swear there was a point from Zrugel.
Yeah.
I get the Xeno doesn't want it says the Carl missions to be done in an afternoon, but sometimes I only play for an afternoon in a week. I hope they are doable in a few hours.
No, the Carl missions, sure, but I was mostly focusing. I thought I was focusing on the
I thought you as well. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I mean it's yeah. I get it if people are like super busy and things, but yeah. Anyway, so the next graph is, what do you think is an unreasonable amount of time to wait to get a full set of 5 Archon shards as something that gives a permanent stat boost to your Warframe?
That doesn't say permanent.
Well, imagine it does.
That says permanent.
Pretend it says permanent, okay? Pretend, Loz. You gotta pretend.
Okay, acting.
You're into science. You're into science. You do your science. Pretend.
It's almost like peppermint. It's close to the peppermint.
Right, pretend that the peppermint stat boost to your Warframe, okay?
Good.
Okay, right. So 11% said that they wanted it in less than 1 week, right? 11% said that they wanted it in more than 15 weeks, right? So some people wanted all 5 shards in less than 1 week. And some people said it should take longer than 15 weeks to get all 5 shards. Okay, interesting dual perception on that one. 21% said 1 to 5 weeks, and another 21% said 10 to 15 weeks. This is a very bell curve graph.
I was going to say, I'm annoyed that you haven't got this in the right order, because then you'd have a perfect bell curve.
Yeah.
Between the masochists and the people who can't be bothered to wait any time to get their content done, and then the perfect thing of 5 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, and then the average, so 37% being the most picked at 5 to 10 weeks. Yeah, I think it's going to be 50 weeks, because I think they're just going to rotate it. Every 3 weeks is going to be a new Archon. So, or a round of Archons is every 3 weeks. So, we'll have to wait another 3 weeks before the next blue one. Right, okay, next. Before Warframe, had you ever heard of the term Lich before?
Are
they in the wrong order?
There we go. No, I pushed wrong button.
Okay, cool. So before Warframe, had you ever heard of the term Lich before? So this is going back to the whole animation one, and I was like, do you guys know what Liches are? So 11% said no, and 89% said yes. So very, very simple. The next one is, should the Kuva Liches get their old punishing the player animations back if you get the Requiem wrong? 21% said that they didn't care, 26% said no, and 53% said yes.
53% of people are wrong. I'm sorry, it was stupid. It doesn't make sense. I'm bleeding out. I'm only being kept alive by some crazy void chemical red goo. Let me attempt to plug my USB of random symbols in. Oh no, I didn't. With the those little wheels where there's a symbol on each wheel, like a tumbler. Yeah, like a tumbler lock. I didn't put the tumbler lock to the right order. Aha! You fell into my trap by using the wrong tumbler codes on me. I have regained my powers and will now
time to suplex you.
Insta-gib you. Why I didn't insta-gib you from the start of the fight, seeing as I have the capability apparently to do this, who knows? It was just like they came up with the cool animation. They were like, how do we fit this in? Oh, well, if you get it wrong, it happens. No, it should be. There should be a way of bringing it in, but not if you get it wrong. I want them in the game. I think they are cool, but I don't want them.
Well, they are in the game. They're on Sisters.
They're on Sisters. Are they?
Yeah, Sisters do them.
They don't one-shot you, do they?
No, they don't. But it's the same. It's the same damage dealt. It's the same.
No, the Kuva used to kill you if you got it wrong.
If you weren't equipped for it,
they'd kill you. I don't care if it's like you're not equipped for it.
I always survived.
I had to. Oh, maybe you with Mr. Oberon with your
Mr. Oberon with my
look at my pretty flowers. I excreted out of my feet.
No, it's peristalsis, Loz. I peristalsis them out of my feet.
Oh, it doesn't kill me. Oh, look at you, normal frame, not using stupid, ridiculous buffs.
Majority of players didn't die to it. It was just you, Loz. 100% Loz.
Yeah, and
100 years Loz.
Stats are made up.
Yep. Anyway, the next one is, how do you feel about the Flora concept? 11% said negative, 22% said positive, and 67% said neutral. Fair. It was a very involved thing. Do you share Loz and Xeno's concern that Flora's abilities are too overpowered? 60% said no, 26% said don't care, and 53% said yes.
Yeah, there's too much going on there.
Okay, that's yep, okay. And then last but not least, we have the stupid question. How would you improve Flora? 11% said when a player brings Flora to the mission, they start as their operator/drifter and don't have the access to Flora until all 4 players summon her with... Why is it not appearing? Hold on. Summon her with their power of the void. Right? Then the other one is another 11%. The player's experience changes. Everything is brighter. Rainbow replaces... Sorry. Oh, God. The player's experience changes. Everything is brighter. Rainbows replace all the liquids. Containers are now teddies. And all the enemies have smiley face masks. Right? 32% said... I can't read that. Why is it freaking giving me crap? In order to bring her plants back to life, she needs to run around with a watering can as her ultimate to heal them.
Yes, I want that one.
And then the fourth pick is Flora is rooted in a plant pot, and all players have to kite the enemies to her, or she'll start screaming, "Feed me more, Seymour!" Feed me, Seymour! In the headsets of all other players. That's 37%.
Yeah, her ultimate should have been Little Shop of Horrors mode. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yep. There you go. So that is it for the graphs. And now it is on to the supporter questions.
Cool. So we have where are these? Huh? Oh, they're tiny. That's why they were so tiny. So it's Rugal with a very medieval-looking thing, which is apparently a font called Math Fracture Bold. Before we start the supporter questions, I just want to say that thank you all for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the. That says lives. Is that okay?
Where?
Look at the thing.
Hold on.
Let
me go to the. I don't know. It could be. We'll never know.
Oh yeah, no, thank you. That's a K apparently. It looks like an F. Okay. All the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes. Also, to answer the polls if you have a minute. Zugal's question is: what damage types do you think Soulframe will have? Stab,
Smacky,
Stabby,
Slashy,
Burny, Pokey, which is different from Stabby because you do it in like eyes.
Well, like with your fingers.
Yeah, it'll be like, well, it's a separate damage type. It makes you more. It doesn't do much damage, but it annoys you twice as much because.
Does it come with the boop?
Comes with every time boop sound. But there's also a sound effect for if you kick someone between the legs. There's a different sound effect.
So wait, which one have we got? We got Stabby, Slashy,
Bashy, Pokey.
What Bashy? Yeah. Burny, Pokey. Do we have Slappy?
Yeah, we're gonna have Slappy.
Slappy, gotta have Slappy.
Yeah.
Smelly.
Ooh. Oh, smelly. Yeah. Smell-based combat. I mean, we're in a fantasy world, so we're not going to get to bathe much. So I think if you can choose to cultivate a build in which you don't bathe, and thus your stank becomes a weapon. Yeah. Halitosis also, you can actually cultivate very strong halitosis. That allows you to have a breath attack. That's instead of like chroma breathing.
God.
You have like halitosis tank.
So could you just breathe and then just put a lighter in front of you and just whoosh?
Yeah, well you can also fart and do that as well. That's how you can have an optional burn.
Yeah. So that's 7. Do we want an 8th?
No.
Nah. Okay.
Our damage system won't be. That's it. That's the limit. 7 damage types.
Yeah.
And Nazareth is all you need. Says, having now finished your first Archon fight with all its delectable twist and turn, do you think we'll ever actually fight Pazuzu, or will he just taunt us the same voice lines over and over? Oh, do you not fight him? Is he just like, I now look more involved from a basic background mob, and now
I reckon that he will come, and if they are smart, this will be the introduction to the raids. So Pazuzu would end up turning up as for anyone's benefit. I'm talking about Pazul, but every single time anyone refers to Pazul, I always think Pazuzu from Futurama, which is like this gargoyle that Farnsworth creates. Do you remember? Is
Pazul Error in new form now called Pazul because Error was a stupid name?
Apparently, I don't know if it's voice acted by Antonio.
Okay. It's been confirmed that Archon shards won't be tradable, at least for the foreseeable future. At the rate of 10 warframes a year, just for normal shards, this doesn't even count Tau Forged ones. Is the system too slow, or just right for the power you receive from it?
I'm
pretty sure they said you would be able to get a second shard a week from Carl bounties.
I don't know if they said second. They definitely said there's multiple ways.
There's definitely so we haven't even seen. So that's just the default one. I mean, maybe it's not guaranteed one a week, but there will be the ability to get more from the Carl system. We haven't even seen that. So that let's say it was a one a week. That halves the thing. So you could get 20 warframes done a year. Do you really use more than 20 warframes a lot? No.
Well, no, but here's the problem, though, that a lot of people seem to be neglecting, right? The fact is, when you install the set, you can also uninstall them
Yeah.
and put them in other warframes, right? And that's a big, like, crux to the argument. It's like, oh, but, like, yeah, you want sets that you don't have to constantly uninstall and install. But at the same time, what if you want to swap? Oh, yeah, let me get my power efficiency Nova as opposed to my power strength Nova, my ability efficiency Nova. You know, like you're gonna want to swap the the shards out. So
yeah, and
yeah,
so one of the key things, this people don't think you realise the game is trying to move forward. The game is trying to do more things. One of the things the game needs to do is make you use up resources. It has been terrible for coming up with ways of doing that. I do hope they hold to their guns and stick with it. You have to use up some resources for helmets. Oh no! People have to go farm loads more helmets resources. This is supposed to be definitely a end game advancement system.
But it is at the end game.
Yeah, and so using up resources or asking a player to have to sacrifice some resources if they want to reorder their Archon shards should not be a big deal because you should have loads by then. And if you don't, you can easily farm them by that point. Easily, loads of them.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then so try to use up shards, and then they could just make it that you have five of each shard you want, and then you can equip them all into different warframes. That's it. The system's over and done with. They're also trying to come up with a reason to make you play every week, and so yes, you're gonna have to come back and keep playing because you're going to stick one shard in one warframe. We are spoiled for the amount of options, you know, that you can use every... Do you remember the days where you put mods in a... It used to be mods in a warframe. Oh, I want to use a different warframe. I have to take the mods out of my other warframe.
Yeah.
It's spoiled now. And then it was that you couldn't even... You had to have separate ones for your Sentinel and your rifle. They've gotten rid of that. So you can just have the same mod is in both your Sentinel on your shoulder and your gun in your hands. That doesn't make sense. I mean, so give them this... God damn it.
This is so similar to the lens system. The only, but people complain, like, let me uninstall the lenses. Well, they've actually given you this system. It's exactly the same as the lenses, except for you can uninstall them and put, and keep them, right? So...
Yeah, they're not used up. I don't know how much it costs, though. Is it horrific to uninstall them?
No, it's cheap as fuck.
Okay.
It's so damn cheap. Like, oh no. Like, I mean, granted, veteran players are going to have a huge advantage, but at the same time, I'm just like, nah, this is nothing, mate. I think we need this opportunity to, we need this incentive to keep returning, because, like, I've barely played in months. Barely. And now, like, in 1 week, I've played more than I've played for, like, probably the last 6 months.
Since Angels.
Yeah. And because Angels, like, just blitzed it out.
It's like 5 months, but...
Probably.
Yeah, but still.
Still, the point's the same.
Would you say this so Angels, I know you actually really like the Angels content. You really like the layout of having procedural maps with the style of a open world system backyard.
Yeah, the hub.
But do you feel that kept you coming back for more than a month? Or did you just blitz it a month?
No, not the slightest. Well, I blitzed it all out, and then I think I blitzed it in like a week or two, and then
in a few days, But do you feel this content will make you come back at least once a week to make sure you get your shard for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. More than likely, yeah.
I mean, let's say by Christmas, you might be thinking, okay, I've got enough shards for the warframes I want. Maybe by Christmas, maybe after.
I might skip, like, the odd yellow one or the odd red one.
Yeah,
the blue ones are the ones that I really, really want, because I think they're going to give so much survivability. But the big thing for, I think, the foreseeable future, I think we're going to get raids off the back of this, right? I think that with the raid/trials, whatever you want to call them, they're going to want to make sure that players are equipped with these. And I think in the trials, we're going to be able to buy them a lot faster. So when you get to trials, they're going to be, son of a bitch, they're going to be available a hell of a lot faster than anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might. And I would like trials to expect you to have 5 shards. The damage output's going to be so hard, you're going to have to use this sort of system to boost up. In fact, I would love it that it says, no, you can't do this raid unless you're using a warframe with 5 shards. I mean, you can, like you say, you can swap them around. I mean, you can just get to the point you've got 5
What
shards.
What about the play? So that means that players are gated for at least 5 weeks before they can actually do it. I don't think that should be
okay. How about because the one thing I'd say about trials is I don't want to see one tier of trials. Oh my goodness. Sorry. The easiest version of the trials, let's say what I would refer to as the Raid Finder tier, that doesn't have the restriction, but the normal and higher up, because I would expect at least 3 tiers of trials, would have the requirement.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% on board with that. And I think that you should be able to get a shard from doing the trials.
Once a week.
Yes. Yeah. So then you've gone from 2...
Well, if you open up the Carl content and that enables you to get one, you can get one from doing the at least Raid Finder, one from doing your weekly sortie, and one from doing Carl, let's say, every other week. I'm not sure how many you get. That's 2.5 a week, let's say. You could get it done in 2 weeks, and you can access the higher trials.
I don't think... we don't know how the Carl thing is going to work.
Yeah, but
it might be a case of...
assume it's one.
It might be a case of you only get the same gem that is available for that.
But that doesn't matter. I mean, just saying that you can get 5 equipped. The restriction is 5
because it would
equipped.
still take 15 weeks. No, would it?
It would take 2 weeks.
No, it wouldn't. Because if you can only get... So, week 1 is blue. Week 2 is red. Week 3 is yellow.
No. I'm talking about my restriction that to do... I want my 3 raid trial tiers, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And Raid Finder has no restriction on it, but if you want to do the normal, or let's say the heroic, you have to have 5 shards equipped. Doesn't care about colours. You just have to have 5 shards equipped because that's the restriction.
So as long as we acknowledge that it's you're colourless or
of course it is, yes.
you're multicolored, it's fine. Okay, fine.
That's just choice. It's like, okay, you might not have the best, but this is just a restriction on players to make sure you have engaged with the content and you're at least doing this. You might not have the best setup because it's hard. It's saying you have to have at least this tier of this to join in.
Cool. Right, I think we're done with the supporter questions. Should we move on to the comments from last week?
Yeah. Not much this week. So Peter Graver. Oh yeah, no, actually I put this in the memes, didn't I? I think it's on 8.
Nah.
What? Okay, hang on. That's not worked. Pause. Okay, so it hasn't quite worked, so I'll just read it out. It's in last week's comments if you want to get the feel of it. It says, I have a little puzzle for everyone curious if anyone can figure this out. It's an equation puzzle. Here's a hint to help. It's a non-meta weapon in Warframe. And it's 2,900 times 16.5 times 3.6 times 20 times 3 times 3.6 times 2.
Okay. Am I trying to work this out right now?
No. And also, so I did some experimenting. It turns out I can easily one-shot the Archon. So I guess there really wasn't a new challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, great. Really? You can one-shot them? Really?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wow.
You just need the right build and,
JJ24 says, Hey Loz, just leaving another comment to remind Xeno to check if your audio from the next recording, if you were really quiet this episode, confirmed on 2 of my devices.
Yeah. So when we recorded last week, we noticed that Loz's audio was not going to the full bar. We've hopefully adjusted it so that that's not a problem. And when I take over, that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Because, to me, he sounds normal. For some strange reason, OBS is, acting weird for him.
Cool. Trex Paddock says, what about rather than adding even more ways to make your Warframe even more overpowered, they add a gizmo/item/mechanic that makes you less powerful in exchange for some other benefit, in addition to bragging rights, such as better drop rates, more credits, or even a trade-off. Minus 25% damage for 10% sprint speed, for example. Something that requires a tiny bit of cognitive activation.
They're never going to do that. I agree with you. I would like to see that. They're never going to do that.
Cool. Okay, well, let us move on now quickly, because Xeno is needing to go for his food a minute, to the memes. So these are all memes from r/memeframe subreddit. Please go check them out, because they have some really good stuff on there. Let's start with meme number 1. Oh, I need to have this up as well, don't I? So check it. So meme number 1 is, I made this one. Doing an exterminate mission. Lotus, change of plans. Leave nothing alive. Me. But we've already killed all the enemies. What else are we supposed to kill? Me looks at Homie. As the mother commands, it shall be done.
That's a good one.
Meme number 2 is entitled "Explosives can still be fun, you just gotta play them right." No! Ammo is so hard to get for explosive weapons. This is so shit. This makes explosives unplayable. Let's switch to flamethrowers again. And then that's the people whining, and then the actual serious place. Infusing dispensary into your frames now has a lot more value. That's nice. Yes.
I mean, there's also pizzas. There's
Yeah,
ammo conversion
exactly.
mods.
Yep.
There's like literally anything.
Tenno are overrated. Strong Tenno betrayer versus weakest Grineer grunt. Grinds for days just to hold an arc gun in atmosphere. Needs a whole quest line just to properly fight sentients. Has 4 revives. Uses them because they're too embarrassed to get help. Builds cheap copies of Grineer weapons. Useless without mods. Blindly follows orders of every NPC in their comlink. Insecure about their combat effectiveness and afraid of stagger versus the Grineer Chad. Does not know what stagger is, always has his brother's backs, always supported by his brothers, uses arc gun whenever he wants, is not even weighed down, uses Giga Chad energy to kill level 40 sentients with scrap metal, simply does not die, does not need to mod, superior Grineer weaponry, gets pre-built gear right at the battlefield, serves no one, makes his down decisions and clearly improvises.
Yup.
I think it's own decisions there, yeah. Yeah. This is one of the things I hate about it. It's like sentients are completely gutted because this one Grineer is just the slayer of sentients for no real.
Like you're gonna do the actual quest, and you're gonna be like, I wish Warframes fighting the sentients was this difficult.
Yeah. Me today, after selling 1 item for 10 plat, business is booming. And I've only put that there so I can abuse it into a 75 plat mod one. Meme number 5. Yes, the same mod, but 4 points cheaper. Game balance is my passion.
So I saw this, like someone did a comparison, but I didn't understand like what the difference is. But like, I mean, I didn't know that it was the price difference because the game balance is over the 11.
Yeah, it's 11 cost versus 7. Yeah,
I was like, just like.
I just think it's really cheap. They just were like, we need to put a new mod in the game. Well, it's the same mod, just cheaper. It's just like... Capacity used to be a really cool balancing act, and now they just put in these cheaper mods, and it's just like, that's not clever design, that's just lazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, good meme. And the final meme, which... meme number 6. A lot of liches right now. Today I will steal a Tenno's Archon shard. Clueless. 1 stolen Azure Archon shard.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, that's brilliant. That's the top meme. That is by far.
I saved it then because it is brilliant.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. A lich will not survive if it has an Archon shard, I promise you. Right. Yep. And now let's move on to the last section, which is the community shoutouts as I get rid of the memes. There we go. Yep. And community shoutout number 1.
Okay, so he's very good at that by Lady Belize. Belize? Yeah, I think so. So, this is just a little comic of Limbo and Tilragor. Tilragor asking, like, do you want to make some babies?
Do you want me to make some babies?
Make some babies, yep. Limbo getting all flustered, going, yes! And then being heartbroken as Tilragor pulls out a vat.
Yep.
I like that one a lot. Then, oh gosh, where is it? There it is. Right. So the second community shout out is Banshee Deluxe Concept by Debbie Sheen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looking at it though, it does feel a bit too close-like at times, but no, I like it. It's good. Yep.
Yeah. It's either that or the very stripped back naked Revenant.
Yeah, no, it's much better. I mean, like the one I really despise is Mesa because Mesa is wearing a jacket.
Yeah. Right, then we got Coven Wisp by Daster Creations.
Wow. I need to spend a lot of time staring at this one, but yeah.
Yep. The fourth community shout out is Kavat Attack by Dongus Wongus.
Oh. I think it says "Hey Kitty Kitty" there, and there's like loads turn up.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Then we've got Harrow Grax by Shimio.
Nice. Yep.
Right. very reminiscent of Chicken Draws Dogs art style. So the next one is Styanax, or sorry, Stanky Face, by, again, Shimio.
Yep. That is Stank Face.
And then last but not least, we have Dancer 2 by Plick It Plick It. I think there was a Dancer 1. But yeah. There we go.
Now I'm wondering, it's like, does those operator attachments actually exist? I'm like, what?
No, I don't think they do. I think so. Some time ago, Plick It Plick It came up with some designs for like drifter suits and things like that, and this was one of them.
Like the Umbra back thing, like matching. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, really, really like this one.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's it for the community shoutouts. And that's it for the end of this show. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. It's going to be a crazy couple of weeks.
Do enjoy Veilbreaker, and do make sure you log in to get your free Styanax. Yeah,
for crazy couple of weeks for Warframe and for moving shenanigans. Yep, that's it. And I don't think there's anything else. So I suppose we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, everyone.
Boy.